So, the topic from Chapter 9 that I'll be covering today is managing test anxiety. I chose this topic because I feel like a lot of people, including myself, can really relate to this to some degree. According to the textbook, research shows that between 25 to 40% of students have experienced test anxiety. The good news is a mild level of test anxiety can actually be a good thing. It helps you stay attentive and focus while you study and prepare for the test, and ultimately while you take it. I want to emphasize the word mild in that sentence, though. Intense test anxiety can be a little more concerning, and it can put you in a really damaging mindset. For example, if you start thinking obsessive thoughts of failure, like, oh, I know I'm going to bomb this test, or I know I'm going to fail this class, things of that nature. And test anxiety can actually even be so bad that it can give you physical reactions such as profuse sweating, shortness of breath, or even headaches. Luckily, there are ways you can manage your test anxiety. The simplest way of doing that is breathing exercises. So the textbook suggests to try breathing to the count of 3 and out in reverse. So like that kind of deep breathing, which I think actually works pretty well. The textbook also suggests muscle relaxation. So it says to choose a muscle group and tense them up for 10 seconds and then relax them. So for example, curl your toes really tightly and then relax. And then the idea is that you repeat this process a few times and that you'll go into your test feeling physically relaxed. Lastly, try reframing any negative thoughts that you might have into some positive ones. So here are some examples that I have written down. So if you find yourself thinking, I'm going to forget everything that I've studied, instead try thinking, I'm well prepared and I know the material. Or, for example, I'm terrible at taking tests. Instead think, I'm getting better at taking tests. Or if you catch yourself thinking, I'm not smart enough, instead think, I am smart enough and I do belong here. My topic from Chapter 10 that I decided to cover is presenting in class with confidence. I chose this portion of the chapter because I think it closely relates to what I covered in Chapter 9 regarding managing your anxiety and having confidence while taking tests. Public speaking is a super valuable skill that is simultaneously terrifying. I took public speaking last semester, so while it was really nerve-wracking in the beginning, I think I learned a lot from that class. So I think this chapter is really important and super relevant. The first step in delivering a good presentation is knowing who your audience is going to be. So figuring out how many people are going to be there, how much they know about your topic, and how to capture their attention are really important questions that you need to ask in order for you to figure out what the purpose of your presentation is going to be and what the major points you have to make are going to be. So the second step is structuring your presentation. I have an example right here of kind of how a typical presentation would be structured. So it's kind of like writing a paper. You start with a thesis statement, you have an intriguing introduction, you have your body paragraphs, which is a multi-part argument, and then at the end you have a clear conclusion. It's also recommended that you utilize visuals during your presentation. They can help jog your memory and keep your audience entertained. Lastly, make sure you practice. Practice makes perfect, right? Stay within your time limit. Make sure you're speaking loud enough so that your audience can hear you. And practice showing confidence and authority with your body language. Make sure that you look and dress the part. Get there early to allow yourself some time to prepare. And similar to what we talked about last chapter, do some breathing exercises and visualize yourself being successful.